Do you want to improve your digestion? Millions of people suffer from digestive issues, and one big reason is undigested proteins that can lead to digestive distress, gas, bloating, and constipation. Masszymes from BioOptimizer contains all of the key enzymes needed for proper digestion. Guys, if you've ever tried enzymes, or even if you tried and they didn't work, I recommend you give this a chance. You get a 365-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Right now, get a bottle of Masszymes for free. Just pay a small shipping fee. There's no catch. As a bonus gift, BioOptimizers will send you the Biological Optimization Blueprint book. It's packed with secrets to unlocking great health. Go to masszymes.com/chaelfree. That's masszymes.com/chaelfree, or click on the link below. Petr Yan, the champ came out. He was doing an interview and he said, I'm going to beat Sterling and then I want Dillashaw. And this is one of those things that keeps rearing its head. But I do want to keep speaking to you guys about it because, first off, this is like the great kept secret of MMA. And I'm talking about TJ Dillashaw, right? You cannot keep a secret in MMA. You can telephone, telegraph, or tell a fighter. The word's going to get out either way. What TJ is doing next, nobody knows. And I don't know that TJ Dillashaw, including when he was the champion of the world, or even a coach on The Ultimate Fighter, by example, I can't remember a time his name has been in the headlines more. It is everywhere. Oh, and by the way, he is completely eligible for license. As of last week, 7 days ago, 10 days ago, he's been eligible for license. So TJ's ready to fight. And all the reports you're hearing on him from his teammates, Cub Swanson and Juan Archuleta, I mean, they are raving about how great he looks in the gym, which just adds to the story, but you still are left with the question of, well, what's he going to do? And nobody has quite told us. TJ said, hey, I thought I was coming back for a title. It was my title. I never lost it. I'm not mad if I don't. I realize what happened, but I've always thought I was coming back for a title. Dana did not dismiss that as a press conference. He said, I don't know what's next for TJ. Somebody said, well, is there any way he could walk right into a title shot? Dana's like, I don't know what's next for TJ. Yeah, yes, he could. We don't know what's next. So it wasn't dismissed. It wasn't dismissed, but now you have Yan saying that he wants him. And guys, I'm only bringing this to you, and I am beating a little bit of a dead horse. I am harping on something. It just seems as though anybody who would like to continue to punish TJ, somebody who's already been punished well beyond, I mean, right, a pound of flesh, he's already been punished. When a guy gets out of jail, we don't then throw rocks at him. We just don't. We just don't do that in our society. But there seems to be a belief within this community of MMA that he should not be rewarded with a title shot. What about him having to get locked into a steel cage with Petr Yan sounds fun to you? What about that as a reward? What about him being out for 2 years and having to walk into a 5-round fight? What part about that, if you were to trade spots with TJ, what part of that is fun? If he's going to go get his ass kicked and you're mad at him, it would seem as though you're getting what you want. The other side of the coin is if TJ's going to kick Yan's ass and leave with the belt, then he should have the belt. I mean, right? It's kind of what we're doing here. We all love to argue that we don't like the politics and we don't like the game unless it comes and it behooves one of the guys that we've chosen to be mad at. If you've chosen to be mad at TJ, but you fully acknowledge that he just might beat Yan and leave with the belt, shouldn't that be TJ's belt? I mean, isn't that what the whole thing's about? I wouldn't want to be in a division, champion of the world, but the best guy's right there. I got to beat that guy. And vice versa. But on both sides of that, I'll tell you, trying to get my opportunity, I don't mean to bring myself into it, but it's a very real thing where you would be punishing Yan. Yan is now coming out. Yan has done nothing wrong. In fact, Petr Yan's done everything right. Worked really hard, made it to a very high level, and went through the hardest guys. My goodness, go look at what Yan's had to go through. He's done everything right. So if he's coming out openly and saying, this is who I want, and there's no caveat there. That doesn't come with more money. That's not some huge marquee fight. You guys are going to stop what you're doing. The pay-per-view is going to be through. It's none of those things. It's a really hard night out for both guys. And if you're of the school of thought that I'd like to hold TJ back just because, I just would. I'm just a jerk. Okay, fine. but you're then holding back Yan, who has made it clear on what he wants. It's not the same thing as if some third party, the UFC, comes in and tries to make a fight. It's totally different, at least from the ethics of it, when your champion who's done everything right is saying, here's what I would like. Oh, and by the way, it's a really hard night out with a guy who just might beat me. I hope that you can look at that from that perspective, because the belt has become very strange as of late. Hearing Justin Gaethje say that Conor and Poirier can't fight for the belt. Why not? They just fought 4 days ago. Did you have a problem with that fight? No, that fight was fine. Why? Well, because there was no belt on the line. Well, what? Somebody's got to fight for that belt. That belt is in purgatory right now. Somebody has to go out and win that, but somebody has to. So it can then be passed on in what's known as a lineage. So the belt is getting a little bit weird. The entire ideal and idea behind this sport, even back in the time when they used to mix the martial arts, was to find out who was the best and then recognize him publicly by putting a belt around him. So if TJ's not good enough for Yan and you're mad at TJ, great. Go get TJ's ass kicked. If TJ is good enough to take the belt from Yan, then he's the guy that should have the belt.